Welcome to Channels Television's election studio on day 2 of our live coverage of the 2019 elections. We're bringing you live coverage from pre-election activities to the actual voting, collation, as well as the announcement of the results. So grab an early evening cup of tea or coffee, whichever one you prefer, and stay with us over the next couple of hours. In terms of ranking, the most fundamental right next to the right to life is perhaps the right to vote. The right to vote is not only constitutionally guaranteed, it is also protected under international human rights law. But in reality, the quality of the right to vote often depends upon a quality of the circumstances under which the right to vote takes place. Tonight, we'll continue our election coverage by taking a look at the current status of the voters' register, the voters themselves, as well as the umpire. I'm Ladi Akiridoluale. Welcome.
Thank you, and I'm Ijoma Onyato, back again for another round of robust conversations as the nation goes to the polls in just 3 days. That's if you don't count today.
Yeah.
Now, exactly.
That's it, if you don't count today.
Exactly. Now, we all are on the ground, and our team of correspondents are covering every angle, bringing you live updates from the 36 states and, of course, the Federal Capital Territory. And all through this season, we'll also check in with our international correspondents who are keeping an eye on the polls and on the diaspora community. Now, we asked you to tell us your own pre-election season story, from your vantage position. Yesterday, that's what we asked.
Okay.
And some of you sent in really interesting pictures and short videos. We'll be sharing them with you over the course of the next couple of hours. Yes, like you can see some of them there. Some people even turned it into a family photo. I saw one with
with the group and the baby.
4 children.
With is it just one PVC?
With just one PVC, and I began to wonder, is the PVC for everybody or? Yeah, well, anyway, so the idea is for you to show off your PVC, tell us your story, take a picture, and then send it in to us with your name and location. Very important for us to have your name and location so we can identify what part of the world that you are on. And so we have some people that, turned it to a family picture, like I said before, even some had grandparents. etc. And so send it all to the hashtag The Verdict or 2019 elections. That's hashtag The Verdict or hashtag 2019 elections. And our team is waiting to receive everything that you send in to us, from videos to pictures to that's Sheun there. Can you see him?
Oh, yes, in the background. Somebody decided to put Sheun. I don't know whether that had anything to do with his affinity for elections and non-elections. Now, so please remember that INEC's duty is to manage the elections, not to determine the outcome. It must decide the how of voting, not the who. So we'll be getting analysis of this right all through. But we're starting tonight, as we have for the last 2 days, with our political correspondent, Sheun Okibaloye.
Thank you so much, Ladi and Ijoma. Thank you so much, everyone. Wherever you may be watching, we're back here. I did tell my colleagues yesterday that I'm not very good at mathematics, but I'm trying my best when it comes to politics. That's something that pushes me to get into the deep of the figures and get some information out. Ijoma did poke me yesterday with a very interesting question when I talked about the big five, and she asked, what about the smaller five in terms of the voting population? Tonight, I'm going to be showing you pretty much some interesting figures that you need to know. So if you look at the voter registration by region, Northeast region, you see where it falls into, and I'll pretty much give you an understanding of why some of the states, if you look at generally how they lie, the Northwest, the Northeastern region, the North Central, the South, the Southeast, and how these will all pan out in a couple of days for the election on Saturday. So let's take a look at some of these issues. Let me quickly go to the Northwest. I seem to have some interest in some of the states that will give you some figures that are large. INEC might be coming out with a total number of collected PVCs altogether, but the figures that we have is a total number of how many Nigerians have registered in the continuous voter registration. Just take a look at it. So you'll be looking at states like Sokoto, states like Katsina, states like Kano, and states like Kaduna in the Northwest region. Those states will get your attention in the course of the days. You notice that politicians are going round around all of these states and they're paying attention. You discover that of very special interest, Ijoma and Ladi, was when, for example, the PDP and APC, they've been talking and debating online, offline, about what happened in Kano State. It's because of a figure there. And particularly, you will discover 24% of the entire voting population in the country is from the northwestern region. Kano has about 5 million voting population. So in essence, this is a big deal for every politician that is looking for vote, either the big parties or the small parties. So let me also show you some of the other ones that will get your interest. North Central, this will be the swing states. Interesting one. That will be, we need to watch out for. In the coming days, I'm telling you, on Thursday, stay ready on Channels Television. We'll be bringing you details, analysis on the swing state, the battleground states, and some of the states that you will say the strongholds of some of the political parties. We'll bring that to you on Thursday. That's the last day we have to discuss partisan politics. So if you look at North Central, of course, it's going to be the swing states for all of this. So Ijoma, Ladi, this is another interesting area that we need to pay attention to. Southwest, 16 million registered voters. So we have right here, Oyo, Lagos, and Ogun. Those are the states with some of the biggest. And if you look at it, in that regard, we have the states with some of the smallest voting population. Perhaps you talk about Ekiti. So let's look at other states.
Sure, that probably answers the question from Ijoma about, at least now we know one of the smallest 5.
Exactly,
absolutely.
at least.
So,
and I can see your math is getting better, Shehu.
Absolutely.
You're doing it now, yeah.
So let me show you one of the small states also that will catch your fancy. Here. Just about 1 million voters there. When they collect their PVC and we get the figures, you see what I mean. 8 local government areas. But you know that this is a stronghold of a particular political party. Mm-hmm. We'll get to that on Thursday. And so we look at the South-South and the Southeast region. Southeast region, 5 states. And all of these will give you 10 million votes. Well, let's look at this very interesting one. Guys, IJ and Ladi, this is of very keen interest. Look at it. The figures right there. The youth between 18 and 35 have it 51% voting population for the entire country. And that gets my attention right here. Ladi and Ijoma, what do you make of this? 51%.
One of the things I was going to say is that, you find that even when we see these figures, do they actually translate to, to whoever wins? Because definitely we do all this analysis and we say, oh, the youth have this vote, the women have this amount of vote, and then you find out that the same people tend to win. So I don't know. What do you think?
But the other side of it, of course, is that, yes, there's that about them voting or not voting. And Shehu is right when Shehu talks about the percentage of the total. But the other side of it that always turns out to be interesting is that all the work, all the campaigning that the political parties are doing, they don't seem to be attractive to that huge population at the very top. Right, Shehu?
Yeah. So, one interesting thing is that this is perhaps one of the few times that we have the youth population having as much in our voting population, Ladi. 51%. It does matter that you will find some of the first-time voters, some of those who were not born or who were just born in 1999 when Nigeria got back into civilian rule, are going to be voting this time around. There might be the enthusiastic voters. There might be the anticipating voter. It will matter. We'll see how much of them collected a permanent voter card. But if you see, those of this age, Ladi, I know you're not in that bracket, 70 plus.
You know what, that's one of the things.
He's poking me back.
I was going to ask you that. When you look at those figures the way they are, how many of that number collected their PVCs? It's a difficult one, this
Absolutely.
period. It's not just about the numbers you have there. How many of them now have their PVCs? And will it matter in the long run?
It will matter. These figures are those who are registered. we will get a register figures of those who collect their permanent
PVCs,
voter card.
yes.
That is the most important one. Critical one. From tomorrow, we might get that figure.
But that the group at the bottom, Sheon, the group at the bottom.
The one you
the
belong
70,
to, Ladi, you mean?
Yeah, the one you are claiming that I belong to. And
Almost
hopefully, at the end of the day, you will soon belong there too. Not too long from now.
That's a threat.
But no, that's a statement of fact. But the point is that it would appear from other places that those in that age bracket are usually the most reliable voters.
Yeah, absolutely. These guys are dedicated. You see them a lot of the time. And now, let me tell you, these guys here, very dedicated. When they go to the voting booth, you wonder that some of them are frail and they may not want to stay for a long time, but you still find them waiting all along. It will be interesting to see some of those figures. But let's keep our eye on this figure, Ladi and Ijoma. 84 million Nigerians that are registered. Quickly, let me take you to this. This very one. This is what I'm talking about here. So we have more men that will be voting, or will have the ability to vote in 2019. So 52% of the Nigerian voting population are men. I won't go further than that.
Yes,
I was going to advise you. I was going to advise you not to.
Yes.
I won't. But let's take a look at some of the political stories that we have on our political roundup, and we'll come back to discuss some of the things politicians are talking about in this election, our political roundup right now.